Argos 10, Hull KR 8 at half-time. And Henry Paul is here tonight, and looks like Henry is doing some work for a radio station somewhere, always has a word or two about the game. And just looking at the records, in addition, of course, to those who won when the Super League playoff system commenced in 1998, teams that have won on their playoff debuts: last year Catalan Dragons against Warrington, of course, 2004 Wakefield at Hull, and 1999 Castleford at Wigan. So the Robins are aiming to join some pretty good company if they possibly can win here. They're only 2 points adrift at the start of this second half.
Yeah, it was a tremendous fight back, wasn't it, by the Rovers? And I must say that Brian McLennan really has to get across to his players that back to solid hard work in the forwards. They were led very early in the piece in that first half by the likes of Jamie Peacock. Kylie Lulawai, he's got to do his work, he's got to get in there.
You know, Leeds haven't been under this sort of pressure for 7 weeks, and you've got to go back to when they played against Warrington here in round 23. In fact, they won the game, didn't they, with a try right at the death. Kevin Sinfield kicking the goal to win, 24-22. Since that time, they played in some games in which they rattle over 50 points, and never have they been taken to the wire again. So I think if Hull Kingston Rovers can continue to stay in the game for the longest possible period, they give themselves a chance that the nerves and the pressure that you spoke about before the match could start to affect the Rhinos.
Well, it's the opening shots, of course, of the Engage Super League playoffs, and tomorrow night it's Wakefield against the Catalan Dragons and Saints against Huddersfield. And Kevin Walters, we saw him earlier on, he's watching on the other side of the field, and he's with Bill.
Kevin, you've got to take your hat off to Rovers. They're making a really good fist of this, given the problems they've got.
Yeah, that's right, particularly with the injuries they had in the first half. They're hanging in well. I think this game's going to go to the wire. It's tremendous so far.
Do you think Leeds have maybe been overplaying it?
Oh, not really. I think it's semi-final football, and both teams are with their attitude, the way they're going about their work. It's great to be here, and hopefully we can do similar efforts tomorrow.
Well, it must be great for the Dragons to be involved as well.
Well, we wouldn't have thinking that way a week ago, but we've got an opportunity. But yeah, it's great to be here. I think the Leeds fans are fantastic, so we'll enjoy tonight and worry about tomorrow.
Well, yes, but if you can reproduce the sort of form that you showed against St Helens tomorrow night, so you'll be a happy coach.
Well, we'll be, but I'm sure Wakefield have got other ideas tomorrow. John Kerr and his boys, it should be a great night.
John's on the opposite side of the field, actually, working for us as well.
Okay, no problem. It should be a great match as well, like this one is.
I wish you all the best.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, and John Keir listening to every word intently from Kevin Walters, who knows a thing or two about playoff football. He won in 5 grand finals with Brisbane, 1 with Canberra, and he also lost 1 with Canberra in 1987. So he knows the track. But now he starts life in the playoffs as a coach. This is Bailey.
Which is easiest then, Eddie, playing or coaching?
Well, I don't know, John. Obviously playing, because he's won 6. Mind you, it helps, I think, if you got some good players around him, and I think in his days at Brisbane he had 1 or 2 decent players playing alongside him. Kick downfield, straight down the throat of Daniel Fitzhenry, and the referee saying that he diffused that ball in the in-goal area.
Put his foot over just at the right moment as well.
You know, we spoke before the game about the missing Sean Briscoe, and he's been absolutely exceptional as Fitzhenry. Made some clever decisions, defended well and attacked well also, and Kevin Sinfield looks to have taken a belt there.
Yes, he's got his head encased in a scrum cap because of the problem with his eye socket, and it looks like that was fairly painful for him. There's a knock-on which will be painful, meanwhile, for Justin Morgan. Here goes Brent Webb. Brent Webb, well, he's allowed to play on.
He can't, he never cross the advantage line.
Oh.
He's got that wrong as Steve Ganson. And
I suppose he gave them the opportunity.
The rule is, Eddie, that he passed the ball. Keith Senior actually passed the ball, so they deemed to have taken advantage.
Well, he's lost 10 metres, and more importantly for his team, he's lost possession of the ball.
And yet again, we're seeing the Leeds players eager to offload. And they're allowing this Rovers,
Knock on by Cook.
Squeezed out backwards. Well, that really is a shame because Paul Cook was slowly and surely getting into this game.
And Leeds get away with this. I think Bailey might have had a swinging hand over the top in that.
It's a knock on from Bella. That's and John Keir, as he said, if he offloads it.
Okay.
That's when he's deemed to have taken advantage.
As they say in another game, advantage over.
Out.
What's on it?
But not as quickly as that.
Great work.
What a run from Webb. Good tracking back by the defence. Liam Colbon working overtime. Here's Big Ali Lauatiti.
Move. Hold.
Burrow clapping his hands at dummy half, and he gives it to Bailey, who gives it to Jones Buchanan. Was that an obstruction? Yes, it was.
Well, that's the second time that we've seen it in this game. First, he was Peter Fox just before the half-time break, and lack of concentration, allowing Kyle Lulavan. Now this is Vella with a knock-on.
Hold him, good. Hold.
Well,
Vella kicks that, and so that surely nullifies the knock-on, Stephen.
Yep, you're probably right.
First. Move.
Anyway,
Hold. Go.
I think this is Fisher, and this now is Dobson, and Fox is halted.
Move. Hold.
Ben Fisher waiting at dummy half, gives it to Dobson. Dobson looking to open this Leeds defence up, and Jason Netherton was involved there as well, but not deemed to have been obstructing, and he never was.
All they have to do is camp down there.
This is Cook, and Cook with a pass to the youngster. That was high from Lee Smith. It was on Scott Taylor. Penalty here.
They're losing the plot of Leeds.
Okay, man. All right.
Lee Smith going far too high on the youngster.
Well, welcome to the Super League, Scott Taylor.
Bang, straight underneath the chin. And this is even more pressure. And there's a few Leeds players out there who look a little bit lost. Instead of getting themselves involved, they're doing a lot of talking. We mentioned before, Eddie, midway through this season, they were having exactly the same problem, talking to the referee, talking to the opposition.
Cook to Taylor again, and Taylor! Oh, he's just held up short of the line, look. Plenty of tackles in the bag here for Hull Kingston Rovers, as Fisher weighs up the options both ways. He goes right, finds Dobson, finds Fitzhenry, cuts inside Ablett, good job, but Jones Buchanan was there. Asking for a knock-on, I think. Jones Buchanan not given. This is Dobson, flicks the pass, Newton then to Reece Ludgrove. Smith in his face very quickly, good defence from Lee Smith. Fisher again, they've loaded this left-hand side up, and Cook to the corner, it's far too long for Fox.
Not a bad option, and Justin Morgan will be happy with that, because he knows that this man, Paul Cook, is getting more and more involved. He has a habit of going to sleep, but not on this occasion. He wants the ball more, take the pressure away from Michael Dobson.
Upset brewing maybe at Witness, 12-20, Featherstone Rovers are ahead. They will go to Halifax on Thursday, live on Sky Sports, if they hang on to that victory. This is Lee Smith to the halfway line for Leeds. Burrow at dummy half. Peacock drives the ball in.
Well, they need some magic to the Rhinos very, very quickly indeed. Lauatiti way out on the left-hand side. He's certainly got the quality. It's a high one. What's he take now?
Claimed by Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall out to keep Senior over the top to Lauatiti. Oh, super try. Fantastic hands. Ryan Hall so often this year has been the recipient of a Keith Senior pass. This time fed Senior wide, who fed Lauatiti in turn, and Big Ali Lauatiti makes it 48 tries for Leeds Rhinos now. He has played in 4 grand finals with them, 1 in the NRL with the New Zealand Warriors, and he has just stretched the lead.
It was a high kick and they got away with it. And again, they stood away watching it. Newton really should have gone for that ball. Neat over the top, nothing you could do about it. The big man reaches out. But we call for something spectacular from the big fella, Ali Lauatiti. and he has done it again. The whole senior combination puts a big fella over. He tried everything to stop him. That was good control, nothing that Michael Dobson could do about that.
It makes the ball look like a tennis ball, doesn't it? So small in the hand that I think the Polynesian players seem to have buckets for hands, don't they?
And some people want the ball to be made smaller.
Well, I think for many people, Eddie, not at the elite level, a smaller ball might allow them to pass it easier, catch it easier, and maybe offload like we saw Ali Lauatiti done at times in this game.
Sinfield then to try and add the extras. He's missed with another. It's 14-8. It's a converted try between the two teams now. But the ball really does look small in Lauatiti's hand, doesn't it? But it doesn't look very small in Rob Burrows' hand. But he doesn't drop many, Rob, does he?
Well, that's pretty solid, though. We haven't seen many runs from Rob Burrow tonight. He's been quite happy to just keep farming the ball out wide. Obviously tactics by the coach, Brian McLennan.
Half an hour to go. Luluai with a drive forward for the Leeds Rhinos. Remember, Leeds Rhinos, if they win this, they go forward to week 3, and they will have the choice of who they play for the right to get to Old Trafford the following week. It's a new innovation this year. Hull KR, if they lose, they will enter the mix. They'll be in the sudden death, but they will get a home tie next weekend. And at the end of this weekend, on Sunday, on our coverage of Wigan against Castleford, we will, of course, be able to give you the full and complete picture.
Well, the full-back's very deep. Is it a chip over the top? Probably the time for it.
Burrow with the kick, angled. That will run dead. Oh, no, it won't. Yes, it will. Does some funny things, doesn't it?
Took its time, didn't it?
Okay, good, man.
Now then, they've got to muscle up. Steve Ganson not happy.
Control restart, wait for the whistle, he says. Mind you, that's more of an advantage to Leeds, isn't it? Because Hull KR trying to get the quick restart. They obviously saw a little chink in the defence there.
Go.
Stanley Jean's back on.
Now, will they revert back to the kicking early in the count, as they did late in that first half, which was beneficial to them?
Netherton goes down, tackle number 3. Still inside their own half. It's Henry weighing up the options left and right. Goes right with Newton. He's been consistent this year. He and Ben Gallier form the second row partnership in the Dream Team, as announced this week. Surprise to a few people, but to nobody in the city of Hull. And the kick is allowed to run dead at the other end by Scott Donald off the boot of Michael Dobson.
It's paying off because even though it runs in goal, you can see that they've got their one line of defence pretty solid.
Scott Donald is tackled by Chris Wellham.
Apart from the opening 15 minutes, you know, Rovers' defence has really shut them up.
Move. Go.
Well. And Peacock straight to position.
That looked high, Vela, and he's being picked up by the man with the whistle, Steve Ganson, and Vela just nods, says yes, didn't miss either.
You know, a lot of people think that Jamie Peacock's the best signing that Leeds have ever made in the last 30 years. He's just been named in the Dream Team, Eddie. That's 8 times in 10 years. You talk about consistency of performance. Whenever they're under pressure, this man puts his hands up, takes them forward, and his teammates, I think, gain confidence from the way that Peacock plays the game. He's just lost that ball, though.
Yeah, he did. It should have been a knock-on, but was going backwards. Maybe the official saw it. I'm with you. It surprises me that he's not in the mix for the Man of Steel either. Jamie Peacock, he's had a big season.
Maguire gets the ball away. Lauatiti! Well, that was just like picking an apple off a tree. Second try for Lauatiti. That could be the moment when Kingston Rovers are broken finally. The ball was bulleted towards Lauatiti. I don't know whether he's got Velcro on those massive hands of his, but it's stuck. And Lauatiti just strolled over the line. His second try tonight, his 6th try of 2009, and suddenly it leads Well, they have a little bit of daylight between themselves and Hull Kingston Rovers. Big Ali Lauatiti, the New Zealand international, 19 times, played for Samoa in the World Cup. Crucial try, this.
Certainly is, Eddie, and I tell you what, it came about from the heavy shot by Vela right into the mush of Peacock from that position. They've been trying this flat pass for quite some time tonight at Leeds, and it has come off. And let's face it, when he grabs the ball, it's like just picking up a peanut. Thank you. Boom. Straight into it. He's turned the game. One man, all on his own. He's got number 12 on his back. It's Ali Lauatiti.
And Sinfield adds the extras, 20 points to 8. Still not over, though, for Hull KR. It makes it more of a challenge for them now, but they're still in this.
Here you see they shift the ball. Some of the passes didn't come off in the first half, but they're now starting to stick, and they're making life very difficult for the Rovers defence, particularly out wide. They attacked them out wide early in the first half, John, but didn't have that joy.
No, they didn't, and it's been that left-hand side, hasn't it, of the Rhinos that's had the most joy, as you can say, Phil, with Lauatiti and Senior, and that's the area where Chev Walker was, obviously. It's also the area where Michael Dobson tends to defend, and it was Lauatiti versus Dobson, and I know where my money went.
Here goes Lauatiti again.
The one thing you've got to admire about him as well, Ali Lauatiti, you know, with the qualities, we've already seen that tonight near the try line, but he puts his work in, as he did on that occasion, took the ball up in his own quarter.
This is Ian Kirk. Ooh, he looked over the shoulder, and Webb was sniffing the inside ball. Here goes Diskin.
Good work by Diskin.
Good ground made.
Yeah. Oh, that should have been a penalty. 3 or 4 goes at him.
Sinfield will drill the ball towards the touchline and finds it.
Great tactical kick there by the skipper, Kevin Sinfield. He knows that at 20 points to 8, it's all about getting field position. I'm not so sure he intended it to come off the side of the boot. He got away with it in the end. Not a doubt whether he would have been fit tonight.
Hull Kingston Rovers supporters know the last time that their team won here was the 17th of November 1985. Rovers then came as reigning champions. They won 16-12. It was in the old First Division.
Move, hold, go.
You know, with a 12-point advantage, Eddie, is your glass half full or half empty? If the Rovers get one try, they're certainly back in with it. It's just the ability, you know, they have to defend well when they don't have the ball. Sometimes a side, when they are behind on the scoreboard, put more of their effort and focus on attacking, trying to get the points up from 8, up closer to 20. But you have to maintain some concentration when the team's defending too.
And the point that John and I were making in the studio at half-time, Phil, Justin Morgan, because of the bad injury to Chev Walker, his options are restricted now off the bench.
Clear.
Massively so, yeah, but I mean, at this point in the season, I think you just go with the flow, see what they've got. That's another excellent kick. There's some good play for the Rovers here. Can they force any type of error now from Leeds at this part of the field?
Well, they're going to try, obviously. Let's go down to Bill quickly.
Well, Eddie, just picking up on that the point you were discussing about the Rovers' injuries, that Chev Walker this evening in hospital in Leeds after that horrible break to his left leg. But the positive news is that Briscoe, Galea and Morel, all absent this evening, will all be back next week, should all be back next week. In fact, Sean Briscoe saying that if this had been a knockout game, then he would have put his shoulder on the line, the shoulder being his problem. Ben Galea, likewise, they would have been risked, not being risked tonight.
Well, it's all on for next weekend then, if that's the way it turns out. But Rovers, they're not out of this. They are not out of this. It's only 12 points and there's 22 minutes remaining. Here goes Diskin, and he knew that Wheeldon was in an offside position. Burrow floats the pass out to Ryan Hall, and Hall, on the last tackle, hoists the kick in the centre of the field. Lee Smith has to give him 10. Now they can go for Chris Wellham, and that's a good run from Wellham, actually.
First, well done.
And again, the one thing that will be disappointing Brian McLennan, the Rhinos coach, is as much that they're not getting themselves organised, Leeds, when it comes to the final tackle. It's not the first time we've seen tonight that they're being forced into trying to get the ball out wide. OK, sometimes this Rovers defence has been up onto them, but they've got to get themselves room, stand back further and get the kick away.
We've just seen Simon Worrell come on the field for the Leeds Rhinos. One of the differences is between Leeds and all the other squads in Super League. Their fringe players, their squad players like Ian Kirk and Simon Worrell are 24 and 28. A lot more maturity now. You have to compliment the club for the way that they manage their salary cap to be able to get the more mature players in that sector playing up within the salary cap.
Yes, for nights like this, it's absolutely crucial. That's a great flick pass from Scott Donald.
First move.
And we have praised every single club and every single coach this year for blooding the youngsters. But John Keir, when you get to this stage of the season, when Old Trafford's up for grabs, that's when you want a little bit of experience.
It is. I mean, what you do at this stage of the season, most definitely, is you put your best and your most experienced team out on the park. And I'm sure that's what Justin Morgan did. His hand may well have been forced with young Taylor, but as Sean Briscoe indicated to Bill on the sideline, if it's knockout football, they really do put their hands up with these players.
That wasn't the best pass, though.
Yeah, it went off Fox, came off Fox. It was an interception, really, wasn't it, attempted by the winger.
Yeah, because it was try time, wasn't it?
But I just saw the ball hitting the ground.
And Scott Donald knew that he was away. Good work by Fox. As you see, he was 3 and 1. He had to do something about it. He was very alert indeed. And I think deep down the Rovers realise they can't afford to let Leeds score yet again.
You know, it's interesting to note that Leeds lost their own. The ball has come free. It's a knock-on here by Leeds.
But why
Sinfield.
Just saying it, why on earth would you've just got away with a bad pass where the pass has been knocked down, you've got the possession, why force it? It's 20 points to 8, you can expect it from Rovers, but not from a man of this calibre.
Just going to say the Leeds have lost their opening playoff game in each of the 3 years in which they've won the title, 2004, 2007 and last year. Well, they're trying to give this game away, both of them, aren't they? Worrell has it for Leeds. He plays it quickly to Maguire. Here's Peacock. Now it's Ian Kirk. He's got support. Brent Webb, if that ball could have come out from Ian Kirk, he would have been under the sticks. Leeds, though, patiently building the pressure. Diskin to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. And here is Peacock again, that trademark trundling run of his.
Well, we need some action from the likes of Rob Berra and Danny Maguire. Take on this defence.
Here's Burrow. Sinfield, Burrow again. He applies the brakes and goes back the other way. So good at it, isn't he?
Third move.
Diskin. Waits. Gives it to Maguire. Maguire wide to Senior. Ball up in the air, played up, and it's a wipe the tackle count down. Does the referee? Zero tackle that was. So Leeds have got 6 in the bag. Here is Sinfield. Worrell was asking for the ball to be kicked through, but Sinfield held on, took the tackle. Diskin, short ball! Over the line, I think.
Yeah. We'll go to the screen on this one, though.
Jamie Peacock, isn't it?
The big fella goes close. Has he got it down? In a good position, though, is Steve Ganson. He wants to make sure. Now then, on the other side, as he got it over the whitewash. I think he might have. Or is it bobbling up in the air? This is very, very difficult to see. It's up in the air at the moment. Is it down? Is it down? Oh, best of luck, Mr. Silverwood, on that one. His arms, legs, you name it. But on that one, I think you'd say that that's down.
On the line, and on the line is a try.
It should be given. Let's have another look from a different angle. I think it's the first impact that he gets it down, not the second one.
It's a massive decision because this is the game, Eddie. If this is given, it's Leeds' game.
From this angle, it looks as though it's on the whitewash there, and then it's pulled away. So
is there a hand underneath the ball? It's slightly inconclusive, isn't it?
Well, there was after, but it's the first impact.
Benefit of doubt, is it? Do you think?
Yeah, he's got to make sure that. I mean, he's got the hand underneath, but I think he's scored.
Well, as Phil says, could be the game breaker. The try is given, and it is given benefit of the doubt. Ronnie the Rhino celebrates. And Leeds just turn up the pressure, and a big smile from the try scorer, Jamie Peacock. 26 times a Great Britain international, 11 times an England international. England captain, of course, in the World Cup, the incumbent England captain. I had the temerity to ask him on Tuesday morning about last year's World Cup and whether he was wanting to put the disappointment behind him. He looked at me fiercely, said, "I'm sick of talking about it."
Neat work from Diskin, who's had a fine game as well, but good solid hard work. Just too much power for the Rovers defence in the end. And this really should be a gift. 2 points to stretch the lead even further.
For what reason?
Well, he had 107 goals before tonight. He's on 109, so this is 110 for 2009 for Kevin Sinfield, the game's top goal kicker 3 years in a row, and Leeds ahead 26 points to 8.
Well, you see them take it to the line. I said before, Eddie, I just wonder what influence Jamie Peacock's had at this club. In my opinion, there were probably 3 years of underachievement at Leeds before he arrived here, and they went from the nearly men to the champions. And I think the mental toughness, if you ever spend any time with Jamie Peacock, you realise the mental toughness that he brings to the environment in which he works. And I think it's made such a difference. You don't need a small difference for players around him to turn from nearly men to champions, and I think that's the influence that Peacock's had.
And Phil, just to have the other side of the coin, if you think about it, and I don't want to rub salt in Bradford's wound this year, but the way that Bradford have dipped since Jamie Peacock has come here.
Well, fantastic decision by the Leeds Rhinos to sign him. I think that's what history's proved. He's certainly been the best prop at Leeds for the last 25 years, if not one of their better players.
There he is now playing the ball to Diskin, and that's Sinfield with a measured kick.
He's onside.
And it's on the third as well, so they're getting the confidence back. That's a great chase. Good stuff there by Scott Donald. Obviously a set pattern. Donald knew that the quick kick was coming.
Surrender.
It's such an important factor that all the teams and the players have got to converse with each other. Let people know what you're going to do.
Third. Move. Go.
Fitzhenry, the dummy half for Hull KR. There's Wheeldon. Looks like Peacock is in very quickly again with the tackling. It looks like at this moment in time we're on the way to Hull Kingston Rovers next Saturday night as Hull KR play their get out of jail card. And Dobson with the kick downfield, but it's collected by Donald.
The biggest problem now that Justin Morgan and his players have is that mentally, do they start thinking towards next week, Eddie? And just be a little bit slow, getting their defensive pattern sorted out.
Oh, Webber's on the break, and he gets the pass away brilliantly to Ryan Hall, leading try scorer this year. That's why. Pace to burn. He gets the nod from referee Steve Jansen, and Leeds now might be in the mood to pull out all the tricks in the bag. Such pace then from Ryan Hall. Great build-up, but once the ball arrived in Ryan Hall's hands, well, it was a question that was purely academic. The try was about to be scored.
And this will make it even worse now for the Rovers to concentrate. You could see that he threw the dummy, the great offload. And this is what I like about this fella, Ryan Hall. As soon as he got that ball, he wasn't going to look for anybody. He had the confidence. He knew he was going to get the step. Watch, as soon as he gets it, I'm off. See you later. Top gear. No one's getting near me. That is a wonderful try.
Ryan Hall in the dream team. He didn't score against Salford last week, but 9 tries in the previous 4 games, and a try in last year's grand final against St Helens. And Leeds with this Kevin Sinfield attempted conversion. They're taking aim on Old Trafford again. He's kicked the goal. It's 32 points to 8. And Kevin Sinfield immediately leaving the field after that kick.
Super stuff though, wasn't it? Good work by Brent Webb. Got the gap. Nothing that Fitzhenry could do about that, but he took them on.
And Sinfield, the skipper, and the Leeds Rhinos Player of the Year 2009. He will have a couple of weeks break, I think, or have Rovers got something still in the tank? Maybe not.
You know, that last try, Eddie, that's indicative of Leeds at their very best, because if they break the line, the support absolutely pours through, and they've got pace right across the field, and it tends to get finished. That was a great finish, wasn't it, from Ryan Hall?
And here they come again with Ryan Bailey. And 24-26, witness of fighting back against the Featherstone Rovers in that championship playoff. Something about these playoffs, isn't there? Burrow to senior. Of course, witness with one box ticked already. They've won the Northern Rail Cup, and they want to get to the grand final, which would be another box tick for their future licence application to rejoin the elite. That's charged down by Cook. That'll be play on.
First, charge down.
Good decision from the referee, that.
Spot on.
South Stand don't like it, but he's absolutely right.
He's not the most popular fella here, is he? But certainly raised the arms, and that's sufficient.
Is a referee popular anywhere, Steve?
Well, not in my book, no.
Go.
You are.
Oh dear. Oh dear. A double oh dear.
Okay.
But he's got to sort this one out. And he says play on.
Go.
I think he's right as well on this.
Well, we posed a question in that first half that Leeds wanted to score on every occasion.
Go.
It wasn't the time, of course, but at 32-8, you've got to give them credit for at least trying their hand now. You know, this is all wrapped up.
Rovers, though, not in the mood to go home neatly. Here is Fox. Collared by Peacock.
Move. Well done, Ryan.
He works hard, doesn't he, Peacock? You know, he reads the game so well when he's in defence.
Oh, and it's bounced for Maguire. That ball was knocked out of his hands, I think.
No, he just pulled it round. It's a knock on. He just grabbed the arm, that's all. What's this? Just grabs the arm. Should be head and feet to the Rovers, and it is.
Got out there, Steve. All right, Ron. He's a different.
Frustration for Danny Maguire.
Good work, though, wasn't it, by Stanley Jean? Yes, good work by Maguire over there. It's been a hard night for Justin Morgan, but he'll be very pleased, especially with their effort, with losing Chev Walker in that first half, and the way that they really took Leeds to town. Well, he knows that they've got the spirit there, and he knows that they've got the class as well.
And he knows he's got the second chance at home next week.
Yep.
But it's sudden death from here on in. Last 10 minutes. Fitzhenry. Can Rovers just spoil the party that's almost breaking out here? And of course, these Rhinos will go to the next stage, which is in a fortnight's time. They will be back here at Headingley, and they will get the club call. They will pick who they want to meet on this ground to get to Old Trafford on October the 10th.
It'll be interesting to see who Brian McLennan does select.
I don't know whether it'll be his choice. I asked the chief executive and I asked the club chairman and owner, and they wouldn't tell me what the strategy was.
Strategy?
Yeah, there's a strategy. There's strategy involved. That's John Keir, he'll tell you.
Well, it can only be financial, because you've got to give it to this fella, Brian McLennan. He's running the team, he's the man.
Well, he'll have an input, no doubt about that.
Well, he should be the only one with the input. That's a knock-on by Chris Wellham.
John?
I wouldn't worry about it until 2 weeks down the line. There's a lot of great rugby league to be played, so let's enjoy it.
Absolutely. But it is the new...
Well, if it's a democracy, maybe they get the players involved and the majority wins.
Well, let's get the supporters involved then. Let's have the supporters... Let's ask them to open the phone lines.
That's rubbish. Come on, it's down to the coach. You mean he's coached him all year and then say, oh, by the way, we're taking it away from it?
No, I'm not saying that, no, not at all.
Go, mate.
Get Simon Cowell involved.
Featherstone might have wrapped that game up at Widnes. That was brave from Welland.
First. Move. Go.
Here's Fisher.
Good, mate.
Fossard. Well, the one thing that Justin Morgan and Rovers will be hoping for now is, in the next 8 minutes, no further injuries.
just sneak a try, just make them feel a little bit better about their evening. As I said, it was a wonderful effort in that first half, and they're just really running out of steam because Mr. Morgan hasn't had the... Oh, that looked a bit forward. Good tackle by Senior.
Last tackle here for Hull KR. Dobson with an angled kick over the top behind the defence. Oh, off the bar, and very well picked up by Brent Webb.
Oh, he was just hanging around, wasn't he? Just loitering. It's amazing what can happen in the rugby league game.
He goes right Hall, and Scott Donald's with him. Good work by Criswell on that.
Well, he thought he had the pace, but really he should have offloaded to Donald. He would have been right underneath the sticks, but look how quickly Rovers have got their defensive line back.
Well, with Leeds, two of the best defences in Super League. Maguire with the chip over the top. Oh, it's bounced horribly. Lee Smith will go over and score his second try. And Steve Gasson awards the try to Lee Smith. His second. Leeds are on the way to phase 2 of the playoffs in week 3.
Well, sometimes the luck can go your way all the time, and it's, I'm afraid it's going the Rhinos' way. The kick into the corner, they tried 2 or 3 opportunities, and Ryan Hall made the break. He had Donald on the inside, and you can't blame him because he really raced away before. Good work by Criswell, he got back, pulled him down, and then he was a real schmozzle here. Who wants it? Kick to the corner, bounce. They've all missed it. Anyone got a ticket? He's missed it. It's a gift.
Lee Smith with the try, and Lee Smith is the man who's going to try and add the extras here. Does a funny thing, doesn't it, the rugby league ball when it bounces? Now, can Smith add the extras? Yes, he can. 38 points to 8 at Headingley, inside the last 5. It looks like a breeze on paper for Brian McLennan and Hull Kingston Rovers. John Keir, it's been anything but that.
Yeah, I think Justin Morgan can take great heart from the valiant effort of his troops. They seem to have everything going against them from before the game when they had a depleted line-up because of the injuries. And obviously that was a horrific injury to Chev Walker, but they showed great character there to attempt to overcome that. But this Leeds outfit, they're set off in a white-hot fashion, and they really have played some good rugby league in the second half and scored some quality tries.
Yes, they've scored 5 tries in the second half, and as yet, Hull Kingston Rovers have to add to their half-time score.
And more problems for the Rovers as well. It looks like Rhys Lovegrove has picked up an injury. He's limping here right on this left-hand side.
Well, that ball's come free. Knock on, he says.
Well, things just are not going right there.
Scott Wheeldon, just head down, head bowed. They'll come back. They will come back, though, next week. Hull KR, we'll find out against who over the next 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Saturday, Sunday. Sunday night at the end of the game at Wigan, it will be all clear.
Nick, let him have the head.
Less than 4 minutes to go. 38 points to 8.
Out.
And Webb for the Rhinos.
First, move.
Luluai. Can Leeds just add an extra, just to put a bit of icing on the cake? Can Hull Kingston Rovers give themselves some hope for next weekend? This is Ian Kerr.
Move. Hold. Go.
Diskin. Back to Maguire. Gets away from Paul Cook. Down at Rob Burrow, I beg your pardon. Here is Lee Smith. This is Scott Donald. Donald to Ryan Bailey. Bailey will trundle it forward. Shrugs off one challenge. Gives it to Brent Webb. Oh, they went for the interception. Knock on by Senior. And
Senior knew it was try time as well. Ryan Hall said, I can add it even another one to my scoring exploits this year. And Colburn had to go for it, had to go for the intercept. Just didn't get a fingertip to. He did. Had a fine season though as Keith Senior. Been a hard night for the winger Liam Colburn.
2.5 minutes to the end of this, the opening match in the playoffs. Leeds get next week off. They come back bigger and stronger, do they?
And I think whichever team has to face Leeds in the playoffs and maybe even face them at Old Trafford Grand Final will recognise that the left-hand side of the field is the biggest danger. There's a final score. Widnes losing. Excellent win there for Featherstone. A tremendous victory there, throwing 32 points over the Widnes side. Going back to the Leeds team though, if you think Lower TT, Senior and Hall, that's where I think you need to focus defensively. Close that element down. That's the biggest threat that Leeds pose if you isolate one aspect of the game.
Penalty there by Lower TT, pulled the ball away with Fisher grounded, 2 men in the tackle.
I agree with you, Phil, and I must say that Lower TT was the man that really changed his game at a time when Rovers looked as though they were going to create an upset. It needed something special, and he provided it. Created one, scored two. Can't do much better than that.
So Rovers, can they give their supporters, their loyal band of supporters who are staying on right to the end here, can they give them something to cheer about? Well, Wheeldon will hope so, but he goes down. Leeds will defend this line now for all they're worth. Dobson, Jean, oh, first knock on by Jean. Lee Smith saw the try line 90 metres away, and it was on his way before the ball was pouched.
Well, they fire the pass, it bounces into the arms of Lee Smith, and you can see the standards that Leeds have set, because he's disappointed he hasn't taken that ball, converted into points. They bombed a few chances in the first half, but they've looked pretty good tonight, Eddie, to start the playoffs. You know, in the race to the grand final, they've got out of the blocks incredibly well in this game, and they've, terrible piece of skill here now. Keith Senior's trapped in goal. They'll perhaps finish on a little bit of a lull.
Yeah, that was not the best, was it? That really was not the best. They're all smiles. Shocking pass.
But what about this here? They've taken a short restart. Danny Maguire's skill to kick it, regather from 10 metres, absolutely the difference here. Just watch this. Many of the players not even turn and watch it. He kicks it, picks it up in one, spins and gathers in the ball. You have to admire the skill of some of the Leeds players. It's been mesmeric at times.
And here goes Senior. Here goes Senior up the middle. And Keith Senior will score under the post. That's the icing on the cake that Leeds were looking for. It will give the scoreline a really, really poor look as far as Hull KR are concerned. But the old man, Keith Senior, the man who just gets better with age in the Super League, in the dream team for the first time in 5 years, his 10th try of 2009. This is his 508th career appearances. He's got a one-year extension signed. He'll be back next year, and he is still full of it as ever.
Well, they got the possession, didn't they, because of the goal line dropout. Leeds are deciding to provide value for money for the fans. They're prepared to try things. They've got possession and they're giving it to Keith Senior, as I've said. The left-hand side threat for this Leeds Rhinos is a formidable one. And his try here underneath the post just confirms why they are the favourites for this playoff race. Stepping, pushes off. He's not only a big man, he's a quick one and incredibly strong. So strong, he's cleared that line without any trouble.
And from bang in front of the post, somewhere in front of all of that melee, Lee Smith, I think it was, who kicked the conversion. And so it ends up at 44 points to 8 to the Leeds Rhinos. And that, Phil, is a massive marker that the champions have put down for this playoff series.
Yeah, you know, I'm not so sure, and this is probably an old cliche in any sport, this final score doesn't reflect how competitive Hull Kingston Rovers were, but it only underlines how many tries Leeds have scored and the accuracy of their goal kicking. They really are. If any side want to beat the Leeds Rhinos, you'll have to be at your very, very best.
6 tries in the second half. Jamie Peacock has had a massive, massive role to play in this, but he is not the man of the match, but he's talking to Bill.
Jamie, an emphatic way to start your playoff performances, but maybe got better as the game went on?
Yeah, I think in the first half we had a patch. We were good at the start, then was a bit patchy in the middle. We knew we could come out and play well in the second half, and I think we did that. I think it's a good start for the playoffs, but there's 2 more games to go yet.
There was a point when you thought, sitting on the sidelines, you thought if Leeds don't take advantage of all this possession, Rovers could come back at them, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, the thing is, I think when you create a lot of chances and you don't take them, it's not to panic, and then we spoke about that at half-time, and knew we had to come out and take his chances, and we did that very well in the second half. I thought we created chances and took them.
Got to ask you, did you get that ball down on the white line?
Benefit of the doubt, Bill.
They all count, yeah, it's in the papers. Now, you can put your feet up for 2 weeks and watch all the others knock 7 bells out of each other, can't you?
Well, I don't know about putting feet up. We're going to work hard. We've got to work hard, and then, we'll see how we're playing a couple of weeks' time. There's a lot of the job still to do yet. Let's not get carried away here.
Who's going to make the choice?
No idea. Who knows?
OK, well done tonight, Jamie. Let's bring the man of the match in. Ali Lauatiti gets the man of the match award. Congratulations, there is the champagne. As Jamie said, you didn't start off that well. You got better as it went on.
Yeah, OK, I came, and they gave it to us, and things didn't go our way in the first couple of minutes in the first half, so we had to dig in there and tough it out. So all credit to the boys.
But do you think you're maybe getting into sort of form that will get you all the way to Old Trafford?
I think so. I think we're heading that direction. But in saying that, we still got heaps to improve, and the competition's real tough, and also the final football's different level. So yeah.
Well, you enjoyed yourself tonight as well. A couple of tries.
Yeah, nah. I thought the player of the man of the match would be JP or someone else, not me. I just went over the line. All credit to the boys, and they did all the hard work. I just slotted over, I think. Yeah.
Well, it did help change the course of the match, Ali. I think you're being a bit modest there.
No. I did nothing, man. I just went over the line, but all credit to the forwards and the backs, and they played really well. And also, coaching staff and the fans that have come here.
You get the champagne, Ali. You also get £100 to go to a charity of your choice. Where's that going to go?
Yeah, I'll give it to the Steve Watson-y charity. Yep, sweet.
Well done tonight.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Ali Lauatiti, his contribution changed the course of history. 44 points to 8, though. I feel sorry for Hull Kingston Rovers. They weren't that far off the pace, but Leeds Rhinos in this mood will take some stopping. So they move forward. And Steve-O, after that second half performance where they scored 6 tries without reply, they look in ominous form.
Yeah, but it needed something really, really special to turn it around. And, it was a high kick, got onto the ball, and then they just kept it alive. Ryan Hall, then back on the inside, and Lauatiti, he created a try in the first half that really got them going, and then they had to do it again. And this was the high shot by Vella on Peacock. And I must say, Lauatiti was the man. He changed the game for the Rhinos. OK, they run away with the flat pass. They've been trying to do it all throughout this game, Leeds. It did come off on that occasion. And then the try from Peacock could have been turned down. It was a hard one there for Mr. Silverwood, and that really sealed it. He had a fine game, Peacock, and they really showed their quality, didn't they, Leeds? Especially this one. Webb looks as though he's getting back to his international best. Ryan Hall pinned the ears back. Thank you very much indeed. That made it 32 points to 8. There was no way back for the Rovers side. It was just a matter of how many. Kick into the corner. Eddie, you mentioned that a ball can bounce anywhere. Look at this. Oh, slip. Easy as anything for Lee Smith. And then the old stager. You young'uns can score them. How about this? That's over the age of 30. Can put it in. And boy, didn't the crowd love this. I think he might have been impressed himself, Keith Senior.
Yes, tremendous try from Keith Senior in the end. Now, at the end of that, and you look at that scoreline, 44 points to 8, you think it's an avalanche. Hull Kingston Rovers never in it. John Keir, that wasn't the case, but Leeds impressive.
Very impressive, especially the second half performance. And I think once again what they've shown is how clinical they are. If Leeds burst your defensive line, they absolutely pour through in support. And there's pace right the way across from the full-back right the way across to the 7. Really are a very, very difficult outfit to stop once they've burst you. But I think Hull Kingston Rovers can take heart from this. They showed great resolve, great character, despite all the adversity that they suffered.
Absolutely. Wakefield don't mind coming here, do they?
No, we don't. And our under-18s, Eddie, they've just beaten Wigan 12-4 tonight, and they're in the Academy Grand Final on October the 3rd at Bellevue. So well done to them, fellas.
Absolutely. So things are going well at Wakefield, but things are certainly going well here at Headingley in terms of the Grand Final defence. What about Hull KR, Steve-O? What do you think? I mean, they'll pick up the wreckage from this. We felt, John and I have been in the studio before, that perhaps Justin had an eye on next week anyway when you looked at his team selection.
Yeah, well, a lot of people thought perhaps he had his eye on that around about a fortnight as well, in as much that they really didn't hit the high spots over the last fortnight. But today they did. They had the opportunity. I was very impressed by it. But when Leeds start moving this ball out wide, you know, Brian McLennan has changed quite a few things in this year from last year, in as much that they used to rely so much on Danny Maguire, Rob Burrow, from running from dummy half, you know, taking the first receiver, taking on the defence. But we've seen more of the ball going out wide a lot quicker. And it's no coincidence that you find yourself at Ryan Hall, 30 tries now this year? It's not bad going for that. You know, the old stage of Keith Senior is doing that. And he's changing the pattern of the play. And I think that's what you have to do. You've just got to make sure that the opposition can't look at the old videos and say this is what they do. You've got to keep changing the pattern. And Brian McLennan has done that, especially late in the second half.
A question for you, John. Can Rhinos be stopped?
Yeah, of course they can be stopped, but it'll take a mighty effort to do that. And they've shown today they're very focused on winning the League Leaders' Shield and winning it from pole position. But a very accomplished Leeds Rhinos performance and a very gritty Hull Kingston Rovers one.
Here's a massive conundrum for you. St Helens lose tomorrow and they go into the mix for the pick. If you were Brian McLennan, or whoever is making the decision, if you were Brian McLennan and you had the chance to come here in a fortnight against St Helens rather than risk it at Old Trafford, what would you do?
Well, I mean, that would take some debate, and you have to back your confidence, or whether you go with the set formula of you pick the lowest placed club and try not to upset anybody too much. So it's very, very interesting in 2 weeks' time, but there's a heck of a lot of rugby to be played before them, and it'll be good quality rugby as well.
Well done, John. You sat in the fence brilliantly.
Thank
there.
you.
You haven't upset a soul. Haven't upset a soul. What a start we've had to the playoffs here tonight. Leeds Rhinos march on. Hull Kingston Rovers, of course, get the second chance next weekend. Coming up on Saturday, this Saturday.